If you're over 60 and noticing more hair on your pillow, in the shower drain, or thinning at the temples, I want you to stay with me for a few minutes. Because what I'm about to share isn't a costly treatment, it's not a pill with side effects, and it doesn't require a complicated routine. It's a simple breakfast food that many seniors either overlook or eat at the wrong time. And when used correctly, it can support hair strength, scalp health, and overall vitality much faster than most people expect. Now, before we go any further, let me be very clear. Hair changes after 60 are not a personal failure. They're not a sign that your body is giving up. They're a signal that your internal systems need better support. And the good news is, your body is still very responsive, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, when you give it the right inputs. After 50, men face a unique set of health challenges that don't always get talked about honestly. Nutrient absorption slows down. Blood circulation isn't as efficient as it once was. Hormonal balance shifts gradually, not overnight, but enough to affect hair follicles. Add years of stress, inflammation, poor sleep, and inconsistent eating habits, and the scalp often becomes one of the first places to show it. Hair follicles are living structures. They require oxygen, minerals, protein, and steady blood flow. When any of those are compromised, hair becomes thinner, weaker, and slower to grow. Many men assume this is just aging and nothing can be done. That assumption is one of the biggest mistakes I see. What surprises most seniors is this: hair loss after 60 is often less about age itself and more about silent deficiencies and timing mistakes. You could be eating healthy foods, but if you're eating the wrong things at the wrong time of day, your body simply won't use them where they matter. Breakfast is especially important. After a night of fasting, your body is primed to absorb nutrients. The scalp, the brain, and the muscles are all waiting for signals that say, we're safe, we're nourished. If breakfast is skipped, rushed, or filled with empty calories, repair gets delayed. Over time, that delay shows up as hair thinning. I've worked with men well into their 60s and 70s who believed hair loss was permanent. Yet when they adjusted one breakfast habit and paired it with a few lifestyle changes, shedding slowed within weeks and hair texture improved noticeably. Not overnight miracles, but real, visible progress. In this series, I'm going to walk you through exactly how this works, why this specific breakfast food matters so much for aging hair, and how to use it correctly. I'll also explain common mistakes that actually make hair loss worse, even when people think they're doing the right thing. Today, in this first part, I want you to understand the foundation. Hair health is a reflection of metabolic health. If blood sugar is unstable, hair follicles suffer. If inflammation is high, hair follicles weaken. If protein and mineral delivery is inconsistent, hair growth slows down. This is why quick fixes don't work long-term. Sprays, shampoos, and gimmicks ignore the internal environment where hair growth actually begins. Food timing and daily habits are what set the stage. In the next part, I'll introduce the specific breakfast food that plays a key role in supporting hair strength after 60 and why it works better than many supplements. For now, I want you to remember this: your age does not disqualify you from improvement. Your body is listening every morning. What you give it at breakfast can either accelerate decline or quietly reverse it. Take a breath, stay with me, and we'll build this the right way. Let's continue. Now that you understand why hair loss after 60 is less about age and more about internal signals, it's time to talk about the breakfast food itself. This is where many men are surprised because it's not exotic, it's not trendy, and it's probably something you've seen your whole life. But the way it works in the body after 50 is what makes it so powerful. That food is eggs, specifically whole eggs prepared simply and eaten at the right time. Eggs have been misunderstood for years, especially among seniors. Many men were told to avoid them because of cholesterol concerns, so they cut back or removed them entirely. What happened next was unintended but very common: protein intake dropped, key nutrients disappeared from breakfast, and hair follicles quietly paid the price. Hair is made primarily of protein, but not just any protein. Hair follicles rely on specific amino acids, along with nutrients like biotin, zinc, iron, selenium, and vitamin D. Eggs naturally contain all of these in forms the aging body can actually absorb. After 50, digestion changes. Stomach acid is often lower, enzyme production slows, and nutrient absorption becomes less efficient. This means you can eat a protein-heavy meal and still not deliver enough building blocks to your hair roots. Eggs stand out because they're easy to digest and highly bioavailable, even for older adults. There's another important factor most people miss. Eggs support circulation at the scalp level. Nutrients like choline and B vitamins help maintain healthy blood flow and nerve signaling. Better circulation means more oxygen and nourishment reaching hair follicles, which is critical once blood flow naturally declines with age. But here's where timing becomes everything. Eating eggs later in the day does not have the same effect as eating them in the morning. In the morning, cortisol levels are naturally higher. When paired with high-quality protein like eggs, cortisol helps mobilize nutrients and deliver them to tissues that need repair. That includes the scalp. If breakfast is skipped or replaced with toast, cereal, or sweetened drinks, blood sugar spikes and crashes. This creates inflammation and tells the body to prioritize short-term energy over repair. Hair growth gets pushed to the bottom of the list. When eggs are eaten as part of a calm, steady breakfast, blood sugar stays stable. Insulin remains controlled, inflammation drops, and the body gets a clear signal that it's safe to invest in maintenance tasks like hair growth. Another reason eggs work so well after 60 is biotin. Biotin deficiency is far more common in older adults than most doctors realize. Low biotin doesn't just affect hair, it also affects nails, skin, and energy levels. Eggs provide biotin in a natural balance that the body recognizes, unlike high-dose supplements that often go unused. One mistake I see often is men eating egg whites only. This removes most of the nutrients that support hair. The yolk is where the real value is. That's where the fat-soluble vitamins live. Those healthy fats also help transport nutrients to the scalp. Now, I want to be realistic and honest with you. Eggs are not magic. They don't override years of stress, poor sleep, or chronic inflammation on their own. But they are a foundational food. When added consistently, they help correct silent deficiencies that quietly contribute to hair thinning. Within a few weeks, many men notice less shedding in the shower. Hair may feel stronger when calming. The scalp often feels less dry or irritated. These are early signs that follicles are getting better support. In the next part, I'll explain exactly how to prepare and eat eggs for maximum benefit, including what to pair them with and what to avoid at breakfast that can cancel out their effects. I'll also talk about timing, portion size, and simple lifestyle habits that either help hair regrow or slowly push it in the wrong direction. Stay with me, because this is where small adjustments make a big difference. Let's move forward. Now that you know why eggs matter and why breakfast timing is critical after 60, we need to talk about how to use this food correctly. This is where most people unknowingly cancel out the benefits. They eat the right food, but surround it with habits that work against hair health. First, let's talk about preparation. Eggs do not need to be complicated. In fact, the simpler the better. Overcooking eggs damages sensitive nutrients, especially the B vitamins that support hair follicles. Hard, rubbery eggs may fill you up, but they don't deliver the same repair signals to the body. The best options are softly scrambled, lightly poached, or gently boiled so the yolk is still tender. This preserves nutrients and keeps digestion easy. Remember, after 60, digestion efficiency matters just as much as food quality. Next is what you eat with your eggs. This part is critical. Eggs should be paired with foods that stabilize blood sugar, not spike it. When eggs are eaten alongside white bread, pastries, pancakes, or sweet drinks, insulin rises quickly. That insulin surge increases inflammation and reduces circulation to non-essential tissues, including the scalp. Hair follicles sense stress and shift into survival mode. Instead, eggs work best with fiber-rich vegetables or healthy fats. Spinach, tomatoes, onions, mushrooms, or avocado are excellent companions. These foods improve nutrient delivery, reduce inflammation, and support circulation. Even a small portion makes a difference. Hydration also plays a larger role than most men realize. Dehydration thickens the blood, which slows nutrient flow to hair follicles. Many seniors wake up mildly dehydrated and go straight to coffee. Coffee on an empty, dehydrated system increases cortisol and can worsen shedding over time. A simple habit change is to drink a glass of water before breakfast. Not ice cold, not excessive, just enough to rehydrate after sleep. This one step improves circulation almost immediately and helps nutrients from breakfast reach the scalp more efficiently. Now let's talk about timing. The ideal window for this breakfast is within 1 hour of waking. This is when your body is most receptive to repair signals. Waiting too long or skipping breakfast entirely forces the body into conservation mode. In that state, hair growth is delayed. You don't need a large meal. 2 eggs are enough for most men. Consistency matters more than quantity. Eating eggs 3 to 5 mornings per week is far more effective than eating a large portion once in a while. Sleep also plays a quiet but powerful role here. Hair growth hormones are released during deep sleep. Poor sleep disrupts that process and increases stress hormones that shrink hair follicles over time. Many men focus on food but ignore sleep quality. Going to bed at a consistent time, keeping the room dark, and avoiding heavy meals late at night all support better sleep. Better sleep means better hormone balance. Better hormone balance means stronger hair signals. Stress deserves its own mention. Chronic stress tightens blood vessels and reduces nutrient flow to the scalp. Even the best breakfast cannot fully override constant tension. Simple stress-reducing habits like morning walks, light stretching, or a few minutes of quiet breathing make a real difference over time. Another mistake I see is excessive grooming. Harsh shampoos, hot water, and aggressive brushing damage fragile hair shafts. As hair begins to recover internally, it needs gentle treatment externally. Warm water, mild shampoo, and minimal friction protect new growth. I want to emphasize something important here. Hair improvement after 60 is gradual. The goal is not overnight regrowth. The goal is to stop unnecessary shedding, strengthen existing hair, and create an internal environment where follicles feel supported again. Most men who follow these steps notice the first changes not in the mirror, but in the sink and shower. Less hair falling out, less breakage, that is progress. Visual thickening follows later. In the next and final part, I'll tie everything together. I'll explain how to build a simple morning routine that supports hair, energy, and long-term health. And I'll share a few warning signs that tell you when something else may be interfering with your results. Stay with me. You're closer than you think. Let's continue. At this point, you understand the role of breakfast, why eggs matter, how to prepare them, and how timing and daily habits influence hair health after 60. Now I want to help you put this into a realistic routine that fits your life, because consistency is what creates results, not perfection. One of the biggest challenges men face after 50 is energy management. Mornings may feel slower than they used to. Joints feel stiff, motivation takes longer to kick in, and the temptation is to rush or skip routines altogether. But this stage of life actually rewards slower, steadier mornings. A simple morning routine that supports hair health does not need to be long. It needs to be calm and predictable. When the body feels safe and regulated, it invests more energy into maintenance processes like hair growth. Here's what that looks like in practice. You wake up. Before reaching for coffee or checking your phone, you drink a glass of water. This helps restore circulation and gently wakes up your digestive system. Even mild dehydration can reduce blood flow to the scalp, so this step matters more than it sounds. Next, you move your body lightly. Not intense exercise, just 5 to 10 minutes of movement. A short walk, gentle stretching, or simple mobility exercises. This increases blood flow throughout the body, including the scalp. Hair follicles depend on circulation, and movement is one of the most natural ways to improve it. Then comes breakfast. You prepare your eggs simply, without rushing. 2 eggs are enough for most men. You pair them with vegetables or healthy fats, not sugar-heavy foods. You sit down and eat instead of standing or eating distracted. This tells your nervous system that it's okay to digest and absorb nutrients properly. This calm state is important. Stress during meals reduces digestion efficiency. Poor digestion means fewer nutrients reach the hair follicles, even if you're eating the right foods. Now let's talk about what to avoid in the morning, because these habits quietly sabotage hair health. One major issue is excessive sugar early in the day. Sweetened cereals, pastries, fruit juices, and flavored coffees cause rapid blood sugar swings. These swings increase inflammation and disrupt hormone balance. Over time, this weakens hair follicles and accelerates shedding. Another issue is skipping breakfast entirely. Many men believe skipping meals helps with weight control. But after 60, skipping breakfast often increases stress hormones and muscle breakdown. Hair follicles interpret this as a resource shortage and reduce growth activity. Overuse of stimulants is another hidden factor. 1 cup of coffee is usually fine for most people. Multiple cups on an empty stomach, however, raise cortisol levels and constrict blood vessels. This limits nutrient delivery to the scalp. If you enjoy coffee, have it after eating, not before. Now let's talk about expectations, because this is where frustration often sets in. hair grows slowly. On average, hair grows about half an inch per month, and that rate can slow with age. When internal conditions improve, the first thing that happens is shedding decreases. Then hair strength improves. Thickness and visible density take longer. If you're looking in the mirror every day expecting dramatic change, you may miss the real signs of progress. Instead, pay attention to how much hair you lose during washing, how your scalp feels, and how your hair behaves when combing. Another important factor is overall protein intake throughout the day. Eggs at breakfast set the foundation, but hair follicles also need steady support. You don't need high-protein diets, but you do need consistent, moderate protein from foods like fish, poultry, legumes, or dairy if tolerated. Micronutrients matter too. Iron, zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D all play roles in hair health. Sunlight exposure, balanced meals, and simple whole foods often provide enough, but chronic deficiencies can interfere with progress. If hair loss continues despite good habits, this is something to discuss with a healthcare professional. I also want to address something emotional because it's very real. Hair loss affects confidence. It affects how men see themselves, especially after retirement or major life changes. Many men don't talk about it, but they feel it. Taking small, daily actions to care for your health restores a sense of control. That alone reduces stress, which further supports hair and overall well-being. The goal here is not to chase youth. The goal is to age with strength, clarity, and vitality. Healthy hair is a byproduct of that process, not the sole focus. In the next and final part, I'll talk about warning signs to watch for, how to know if something deeper is interfering with hair health, and how to maintain results long-term without turning this into a burden. You're doing the right thing by learning and applying this step by step. Let's finish strong. Let's finish this properly. By now, you have a clear picture of how one simple breakfast habit can support hair health after 60, and more importantly, how that habit fits into a bigger picture of aging well. In this final part, I want to talk about long-term thinking, warning signs, and how to keep results without turning this into something stressful or complicated. First, let's talk about warning signs that tell you hair loss may not be just about routine or nutrition. If hair shedding is sudden and severe, if it comes with extreme fatigue, unexplained weight changes, dizziness, or skin changes, that's your body asking for closer attention. Hair follicles are sensitive. They often react early when something deeper is off, such as nutrient deficiencies, thyroid imbalance, chronic inflammation, or circulation issues. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your body is communicating. In those cases, improving breakfast habits is still helpful, but it should be paired with a proper medical conversation to rule out underlying causes. Ignoring persistent signals only delays improvement. Now, assuming there's no major underlying issue, the key to maintaining hair health after 60 is consistency without obsession. One of the biggest mistakes I see is men going all in for 2 weeks, then giving up because results aren't dramatic. Hair does not respond to urgency. It responds to stability. When the body senses steady nourishment, calm mornings, and predictable routines, it invests in repair. That's why simple habits work better than aggressive plans. You don't need to eat eggs every single day forever. 3 to 5 mornings a week is enough for most men. You don't need perfect sleep, just better sleep than before. You don't need intense workouts, just regular movement. The goal is to create an internal environment where hair follicles feel supported instead of stressed. Another important piece is inflammation control. Chronic inflammation is one of the quiet drivers of hair thinning in older adults. It restricts blood flow, interferes with nutrient delivery, and shortens the growth phase of hair. Reducing inflammation doesn't require extreme diets. It starts with cutting back on ultra-processed foods, excessive sugar, and constant snacking. It improves with daily movement, adequate sleep, and balanced meals. Your breakfast sets the tone for the day. When the first signal your body receives is nourishment instead of stress, everything downstream works better. Let's also talk about mindset, because this matters more than most people think. Aging comes with changes. Fighting every change creates tension. Supporting your body through those changes creates strength. When men shift from frustration to cooperation with their bodies, results come more naturally. Hair health becomes part of overall health, not a separate battle. I want you to understand this clearly. Even if full regrowth doesn't happen, stopping unnecessary loss, strengthening what you have, and improving scalp health is a meaningful win. Many men look better, feel better, and carry themselves with more confidence simply because their hair looks healthier and their energy improves. And remember, hair is just one indicator. Men who adopt these morning habits often report better focus, steadier energy, improved digestion, and better mood. Those benefits matter just as much, if not more, than what you see in the mirror. Now, here's how you keep this sustainable long-term. Keep breakfast simple. Keep mornings calm, eat real food, move daily, sleep consistently, reduce unnecessary stress where you can. You don't need perfection, you need direction. If you miss a day, nothing is ruined. If you travel, adjust and continue when you return. The body responds to trends, not single events. And finally, I want to say this. Taking care of your health after 60 is not about turning back the clock. It's about making the years ahead stronger, clearer, and more enjoyable. When you support your body properly, it rewards you in ways that go beyond appearance. Hair health improves because the system improves. If this message helped you see aging differently, stay curious, stay consistent, and keep choosing small habits that work with your body instead of against it. Your mornings so matter more than you think.